The centerpiece of our campaign is our building addition and renovation of the tower. Our goal here is to reorient the student experience from the vertical to the horizontal. And so we're planning to build a 5-story addition to the tower on its west side. That addition will consist primarily of classroom, study space, and community gathering space for the students.
The new building promises to accommodate and to serve the people in a way that the current facility does not.
The facilities will be first-rate from a mid and long-term perspective.
There'll be more of a community.
It's a pivotal moment in the history of the law school and the university. Well, good afternoon, everyone. So you just saw a little bit about our vision for the facilities future of the law school. Realizing any vision takes not just the commitment of the school and the university in the abstract, it also requires the commitment of enormous tangible resources. And today we're here to celebrate the incredible generosity of one of our faculty members and friends, Sumner Redstone, and to give him our heartfelt thanks. It's my pleasure and honor today as Dean of the Law School to welcome everyone to this celebration. Welcome to our honored guest, Mr. Redstone, University President Bob Brown, Chairman of the Board of Trustees Bob Knox, and other members of the university's board, as well as the law school's Dean's Advisory Board, faculty, staff, students, and alumni. Thank you all for coming. Many of you know that for those of us who spend our time in the Law Tower, this is a day that has been long in coming. When I joined the faculty some 20 years ago, there were already some fairly long-standing plans for an upgrade to our facilities. It turns out, though, that it was not so easy to align our vision of what we need to meet our requirements with the resources available. It took a man of Sumner Redstone's vision to help us realize our own. Now, there are many words one can use to describe him. Apparently, Yankees fan is not one of them, but nevertheless. Entrepreneur, leader, intellectual, and pioneer in so many ways, including teaching one of the first courses in entertainment law in the country right here at BU Law. Certainly one way to describe him is as a savvy investor, and it speaks volumes that he has chosen to invest in BU Law, particularly at a time of great challenge for legal education. While I can't tell you what his motivations are, I can certainly speak about why I think that BU Law is a great investment. In short, what we as a faculty and students do here together matters, and it matters a great deal to our university, our city, our commonwealth, our nation, and indeed our world. Since 1872, when we were established as the second school of the university, we have stood for the spirit of Boston, as exemplified by John Adams, the son of liberty who took on the defense of the soldiers accused in the Boston Massacre. Because, however unpopular the accused are, they are entitled to a defense. We stand for the values enshrined in the Constitution that are only ever imperfectly realized in the law itself. Indeed, long before the law required it, we stood for the values of equality and inclusion. From the day we opened, we have admitted students of ability regardless of race, gender, or ethnicity. And we have trained generations of leaders of all shapes and sizes. From the first woman admitted to the bar in the Commonwealth to one of the first African-American law graduates who argued the only criminal case before the Supreme Court, to Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, to Senators Ed Brooke and Judd Gregg, to Secretary William Cohen, to First Circuit Judge Sandra Lynch, to Attorney General Martha Coakley, to Ambassador to China Gary Locke, to name just a few, Boston, Massachusetts, and the United States have looked to BU Law for its leaders. Now, since Mr. Redstone went to the best law school in Cambridge, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that while Harvard Law School is rightfully proud to call Barack Obama an alum, we had our first African-American editor-in-chief of our law review more than half a century before President Obama was the first at Harvard. And she was a woman. It would be another 20 years before Harvard would admit women. And finally, we stand both for and with our students as innovators, as the first school to require an entrance exam and 3-year course of study, as one of the first to establish live client clinics, and today as one of the first to establish a transactional law program. We stand with and for our students as a faculty as dedicated to our teaching as to our scholarship. And we stand with and for our students as an institution that struggles every day to try to make their education more affordable and to help our students find their first jobs in law in a historically difficult time in the legal marketplace. And investing in our much-needed facilities project will not in any way distract us from focusing on these weighty issues. Indeed, it will only further our efforts in these areas. Smart people only invest in success. Mr. Redstone's investment and the project it funds are visible, tangible reminders that BU Law has for 140 years been one of the best law schools in this country, and it will be so for another 140 years and long thereafter. His example will inspire others to help us tackle our most pressing issues, whether by further contributing to our building project, endowing scholarships, or hiring our students. So in concluding, our gratitude for this gift and our excitement is boundless because it means not just a building, but so much more. It is a vote of confidence in the enduring importance of the law and what we do here, and for that we are immeasurably and eternally grateful. Now it's my honor to turn things over to another man of vision whose leadership has ensured that this project would come to fruition, our president, Dr. Robert A. Brown.
This is a very special day for Boston University and for the School of Law. We're here today to honor and to express our deepest gratitude to a longtime friend of the university, someone who holds the very rare distinction of being both a former member of the Boston University faculty and a recipient of an honorary degree from the university, Sumner Redstone. I can't imagine that there's anyone today who is familiar with the entertainment industry who wouldn't also be familiar with Sumner. But I'd like to take a few moments this afternoon to tell you very briefly about his path from the West End of Boston to the pinnacle of the worldwide media and entertainment business. Sumner grew up not far from here in the old West End neighborhood of Boston and later in Brighton. He attended Boston Latin, where he excelled in Greek and Latin and graduated first in his class. He earned a scholarship to Harvard. There he continued to excel as a student and was invited to take an intensive Japanese language course offered under Edwin Reischauer, the author of the post-war plan for reconstruction of Japan and later the ambassador to Japan. That led to Sumner's service in World War II as part of a team that broke the Japanese codes. After the war, Sumner began law school, first in Washington and then transferring to Harvard. After earning his law degree, he clerked in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco and taught in the University of San Francisco School of Law. His passion for teaching emerged. He then went to work for the U.S. Attorney General and finally joined a major private firm. Now, this brief history of Sumner's early and very successful law career offers a few biographical details, but it doesn't really give you, I think, insight into Sumner. It's clear he could have enjoyed a brilliant law career. How then did he end up as a media giant and come to be on this stage today? Let me give you a few insights. Sumner has himself written that he is always driven to be the best at whatever he does, and that intelligence and hard work are among his fundamental values. He once wrote that it was at Boston Latin where he was introduced to the idea that thinking, educated, and intelligent people have the power within themselves to create a new and better world. I believe he chose law as a course of study because it was based on reason and justice. Hard work was a familiar focus for Sumner, going to his core family value. Sumner has said that it was his family's working class background that gave him a lifelong empathy for the have-nots in the world. His father sold linoleum to support his extended family. He was able to save enough to invest in a drive-in theater on Long Island, as well as a restaurant and a couple of nightclubs in Boston. This is where, when I look back, you find the roots of Sumner's career in the entertainment business. During summer vacation one year, he worked at his father's drive-in theater in Valley Stream, selling hot dogs at a refreshment stand. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't Hollywood, but it was good, honest work, and it was part of the family business. And that is important. Let me tell you why. After achieving this extraordinary level of early success in law, and as a young man having arrived at a point in his career where he could have chosen choices to be in top law firms, the government, or law faculties, Sumner decided he wanted to go into business for himself. And he did so by coming back to his roots and joining the company that his father had founded, Northeast Theater Corporation. The way he built that company into a powerhouse and rose to become executive chairman of the board and founder of Viacom is well known and legendary. From Northeast Theater to National Amusements to Viacom, Sumner has applied all of his ability and his principles to making his business successful. And not just in terms of the bottom line, but in terms of delivering quality and value to his customers. Along the way, Sumner found that there was little training for aspiring lawyers in the area of entertainment law. His solution was simple. As Maureen has said, he designed the first such course and taught it himself here at Boston University, and we're very, very proud of that. Sumner was a pioneer in law education, as he has been in the education business. And that brings me to why we're here today. As Maureen has said, anyone that knows our law school knows that it enjoys an excellent reputation. It has an outstanding faculty, consistently ranked as one of the very best teaching faculties in the country. The home of the law school is a building that many people consider iconic, designed in 1962 by the famous Catalan architect José Luis Sert, and an important part of the Boston skyline along the Charles River. But anyone who has taught or studied there knows how difficult it is to organize an academic curriculum around that high, thin tower. The space is also cramped. The law school has outgrown it. It has been far too long a dream to expand the law school's footprint, to modernize the space for teaching and learning with a new facility. Several law school deans have worked towards this dream, which will become a reality this afternoon. As Maureen has said, and as everything says on the boards, we are announcing today a major new addition to our law school campus, a building that will house most of the law school's classrooms, large and small, that will contain facilities to support clinical, transactional, and executive and professional educational programs, and wonderful programmatic space for students to interact with each other. This new building has been designed by Lee Cott of Brunner Cott, a firm with a history of outstanding preservationist architecture, especially in buildings designed by CERT, which it will be highly integrated with. The new building will be joined to the law tower and will complement the architecture of the existing building, thereby adding to and enhancing the view of the campus from all along the Charles River. We care very much about how we look from Cambridge. Immediately following the construction of the new building, the tower will be totally renovated. This building, which is the cornerstone of the entire project for expanding and modernizing the campus of the law school, has been made possible through an extremely generous gift of $18 million by our friend and former faculty member, Sumner M. Redstone. The new building will be, of course, be known as the Sumner M. Redstone Building. On behalf of all my colleagues at Boston University who will benefit from this marvelous gift in this new building, I want to express my deepest appreciation to you, Sumner, and for everything you have done for the university and the School of Law. Thank you.
Thank you, President Brown, for those kind and over-generous comments. And thank you all for joining me here this beautiful New England fall day. As a native Bostonian, I'm no stranger to New England weather in all of its forms. This is a city where I grew up, where I got my education, first at Boston Latin School, then at Harvard Law School. For me, Boston is infused with the spirit of learning cultivated by the world's finest institutions, select among them Boston University School of Law. I've had the privilege of being a member of the faculty of the Boston University School of Law, teaching some of the brightest minds of the day about entertainment law. I created the first course in entertainment law here at Boston University, and also in the law of privacy. As a former faculty member and the proud parent of an alumnus, my daughter Shari, who was a student at Boston University Law School, I can tell you that the Boston University School of Law is a hub of legal scholarship and academic achievement. I could not be more pleased to help expand and update the school with a space worthy of the serious and dedicated minds who are studying here. The study that takes place within its walls is enormous. It is my hope that this beautiful building, which I must say has got a pretty good name, will serve students for many years to come as they discover, as I did, the challenges, the excitement of the world of law. So I thank you again for being here and for hearing my remarks.
This is just a wonderful day for Boston University, one of the most important days in the history, our long history. Sumner Redstone's magnificent gift truly marks a milestone, not only because of its grand scale, but because it is bestowed on us today by one of America's and one of the world's greatest entrepreneurs and visionary leaders in business, entertainment, and the arts. The stunning new law school building bearing the Redstone name will be a centerpiece of our campus and remind generations to come of Sumner Redstone's extraordinary commitment and support of Boston University. The distinctive Redstone Building serves as a remarkable contrast to the tiny wooden schoolhouse in Vermont, where Boston University started in 1839. From our humble beginnings, we have come a long way thanks to the generosity of Sumner Redstone. On behalf of the trustees of Boston University, I sincerely express our gratitude and deep appreciation to Sumner, a living legend that Boston University is proud to honor as one of our greatest benefactors and most loyal friends. Earlier today, when I met Sumner, he told me that one of his other gifts inspired other donors to contribute 20 times Sumner's gift. So I can only hope today. And I'm kind of a math finance guy, so that'd be a huge number. So Sumner, today Boston University honors you and we love you. Thank you very much.